Check 1, 2. Hello, hello everyone. Instead of doing a other battle because we are done with that, I am back and we are here to do some Tony Award predictions, which are coming up on June 7th, 2025. But before that, we are going to give a little update on what is going on Broadway right now. So starting off, we have Derek Klena is joining the cast of Wicked again after a little bit, so that's gonna be super cool. And then Michelle Lewis, Ben Vivas, Colin Donnell have just been announced that they are going to be doing the Lincoln Center Ragtime, which is going to be a great production. I love any shows that Lincoln Center does. And then Aaron Tveit, Leah Mitchell, and Nicholas Christopher have just been announced to do a chess revival. And chess is a very good show. It's one of my favorites to listen to. And so I'm super excited for it to come back to Broadway. And then the news that has been going on everywhere, if you're a theater kid, if you're a Broadway person, you know about this. Patti LuPone is under fire recently for a recent interview she did with The New Yorker. I'm not going to get it too deeply in here, but if you want to go check out the article and the interview with Patti, it's a really deep and into fire interview, and she announces that she's leaving Broadway as she announced earlier, but then she returned to Broadway in The Roommate. But yeah, that's your recent update on Broadway. And so now we're going to start off the Tony Award predictions. I'm not going to go through all of them because some of them I don't know as much because I don't watch as many plays. So the categories we're going to be going over today include Best Musical, Best Play, Best Revival of a Musical, Best Revival of a Play, Lead Actor in a Play, Lead Actor in a Musical, Lead Actress in a Play, and then Lead Actress in a Musical, and then Best Direction. So to start off, we're going to do Best Musical and Best Play last. But we're going to start off with Best Direction of a Play. And the nominees are Knud Adams for English, Sam Mendes in The Hills of California, Sam Pinkelton in Oh Mary, Anya Tamer in John Proctor's The Villain, and Kip Williams in The Picture of Dorian Gray. And The Picture of Dorian Gray, for those who don't know, is a very similar show to the current production of Sunset Boulevard. It's a very screen-involved show, cameras everywhere. And if I'm not mistaken, Picture of Dorian Gray is a one-woman show. But I'm hoping the Best Direction of a Play goes to Dania Tamer for John Proctor's The Villain. There has been a lot of hype over John Proctor's The Villain because Sadie Sink, who is known for Stranger Things, is in it. And John Proctor actually just announced that they're extending their run all the way through July of 2025, which is awesome. But if Dania Tamer doesn't win, I'm okay with Sam Pinkelton winning because Oh Mary is a phenomenal show. It's hilarious. And so moving on with the Best Direction, we're going to be doing Best Direction of a Musical. And the nominees are Sahim Ali for Buena Vista Social Club, Michael Uden for Maybe Happy Ending, David Croman for Dead Outlaw, Christopher Gattelli for Death Becomes Her, and Jamie Lloyd for Sunset Boulevard. As said before, for Picture Dorian Gray, Sunset Boulevard is a very tech show, so directing that is no easy feat. But personally, I am hoping that Michael Uden gets the award for Maybe Happy Ending because he also directed the current national tour of Parade, and if I'm not mistaken, he directed the revival on Broadway. And I absolutely love Parade, so Michael Uden is an amazing director. Plus, the way he directs Maybe Happy Ending, which is a one-act show about robots and love, is phenomenal. But moving on to Lead Actress in a Musical, there are two nominees from Death Becomes Her. Megan Hilty, Jennifer Simard from Death Becomes Her. And we have Audra McDonald from Gypsy, Jasmine Amy Rogers from Boop, and then Nicole Scherzinger from Sunset Boulevard. And I'm hoping either Jasmine Amy Rogers or Megan Hilty win because they are both powerhouses. Personally, I like Jasmine Amy Rogers a lot. She is a phenomenal actress in Boop, and so I'm hoping she wins, but I'm also okay with Megan Hilty winning. Following along in Lead Actress, there is the Lead Actress in a Play, and there are a good amount of nominees for this one, and we have Sarah Snook in The Picture of Dorian Gray, which she is the one woman in the one-woman show. Sadie Sink for John Proctor is the Villain. Latanya Richardson Jackson in Purpose. Mia Farrow in The Roommate, which is the show that Patti LuPone was best in, that she was in after she announced that she is quote unquote leaving Broadway after giving up her equity card. And then Laura Donnelly from The Hills of California. I'm personally hoping that Sadie Sink wins, but I'm also okay with Laura Donnelly because I've seen clips of both of those shows, and they are both phenomenal actresses. So I'm totally okay with either of them. But if neither of them win, then I'm okay with everyone else because this is a great list of female actresses in a play. Now, lead actor in a play. This one is a little crazy. There's some people that I know should be up there, and then there's some people that I don't know as well. Starting off with George Clooney in Good Night and Good Luck. He was a stunt cast in my opinion, so I don't think he should win a Tony Award. But speaking Good Night, Good Luck, it is being live streamed to CNN in June, which is completely different from what they've done. They normally do a pro shot where they record it and then release it a couple months or even years later. However, CNN announced that they're going to be live broadcasting from inside the Winter Garden Theater on June 11th, I think. I'm not sure the exact date. They're going to be doing a live broadcast from inside the theater of Good Night, Good Luck. And then following along with lead actors, we have Cola Scola in O'Mary, John Michael Hill in Purpose, Daniel Day Kim in Yellowface, Henry Lennox in Purpose, Lewis McCartney in Stranger Things The First Shadow. And I'm hoping Cola Scola wins because Cole is a very good comedic actor in this play. For those who don't know, O'Mary is the story of Mary Todd Lincoln, who was Lincoln's wife, I think. And it follows the story of Mary Todd Lincoln it's a what if of if Mary Todd Lincoln thought Abe Lincoln's assassination was a good thing. And it's a very funny show, but not for the kid audiences at all. Uh, but watching clips from that show, I was cracking up. So I'm really hoping Cole Escola wins. Because in a recent interview, Cole said that he wrote the show not knowing anything about Mary Todd Lincoln, and he did close to no research because he didn't want to make jokes that the audience wouldn't understand. And so half of this stuff probably isn't what actually happened. But I think the fact that he did no research on Mary Todd Lincoln and just went into the show and wrote it, and it's now Tony nominated, is phenomenal. So I'm really hoping Cola Scola wins. But my second choice is Lewis McCartney in Stranger Things The First Shadow. Because I want to say he was also in the original UK production, but I could be wrong. Don't take my word on that. But I'm okay with both of those. Following along with lead actor, we have a lead actor in a musical, Darren Criss in Maybe Happy Ending, Andrew Durand in Dead Outlaw, Tom Francis in Sunset Boulevard, Jonathan Groff in Just in Time, James Monroe Iglehart in A Wonderful World, and then Jeremy Jordan in Floyd Collins. And Jeremy Jordan has been nominated before for his role of Jack Kelly, which I think he should have won. I loved his performance as Jack Kelly. However, I'm okay. So I'm hoping that Jeremy Jordan wins this award because I think it's his time to win an award. However, I'm okay with Darren Criss or Jonathan Groff. Jonathan Groff, I think, won an award last year for Best Actor for his role in Merrily We Roll Along. And then Darren Criss in Maybe Happy Ending. I'm obsessed with Maybe Happy Ending since the soundtrack came out. And he plays the role of a robot very well. But Tom Francis, the thing about Sunset Boulevard is, for the theater kids who know, they do this walk at the beginning of Act 2, and they walk through the streets of New York, and it's a live camera, and then they walk into the theater, and it's really cool seeing how they do it because it's a really choreographed song, and not choreographed in the sense of choreography, but everyone has some sort of job that they have to stick to, which I think is really cool to watch. So I'm hoping that Cola Scola wins, as I said before. However, I'm okay with Lewis McCartney, or I'm okay with Jeremy Jordan or Tom Francis, obviously. And then Best Survival of a Play. This one only has 4 nominees. Eureka Day, which I haven't seen many clips about it, so I don't know much about it. Our Town, which is a older play I know. Romeo and Juliet, which was the more modern version with Kit Connor and Rachel Zegler, and then Yellowface. And I'm hoping Romeo and Juliet wins because it really resonated. This production especially really resonated with the teenagers of Broadway, which I always love when a show does that. And Kit Connor was phenomenal in that show. Rachel Zegler was good, but Kit Connor was like phenomenal. So I'm hoping Romeo and Juliet takes it. However, I'm okay with Our Town as well. Now, following along with the revivals, we have Best Revival of a Musical. And there are also four nominees for this one. We have Sunset Boulevard, Pirates, the Penzance Musical, Gypsy, and Floyd Collins. So these are all very good nominees because they all are very well-known shows, except Pirates, I think, because I haven't heard much about Pirates. However, I know there's a lot of buzz around it when it opened. But I'm hoping Gypsy takes it because Gypsy is a very good show, and it was the first show at the Majestic since Phantom closed, and it was very good. Plus, you have Audrey McDonald as Gypsy, and she's a powerhouse and a Broadway veteran, no matter who says that she's not, Patty LuPone. And so I'm hoping Gypsy takes it. However, because of Jeremy Jordan, I am also okay with Floyd Collins winning. And then we're going to move on to Best Play, which the nominees are English, Hills of California, John Proctor's The Villain, Oh Mary, and Purpose. And as said before, I think Oh Mary should win because it is a comedic play about Mary Todd Lincoln thinking, what if Abe's death wasn't a bad thing, which I think is a very funny concept. And Cola School is just a genius in writing the show. And so I'm hoping O'Malley takes it. However, I am okay if John Proctor is the villain, if John Proctor is the villain wins. This isn't a category, but best set. I don't know the nominees, but I'm hoping Purpose. I think Purpose got nominated. And if it did, then I'm hoping it wins because I love any set that like is a very big interior. And Purpose has this giant house set that really looks like the inside of a house, which I think is super cool. And then finally, the biggest award of the night, Best Musical, and the nominees are Buena Vista Social Club, Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat. And Operation Mincemeat was was actually a UK transfer. It came from the West End to Broadway. So, and I've heard good stuff about this show, but not like a bunch of buzz. Maybe Happy Ending, when it opened, it was a very small, lesser known show. And they actually delayed opening because they had some technical errors. So I'm hoping, really hoping, maybe Happy Ending takes the win because it's a beautiful show, beautiful score, beautiful lighting design because of all the projections and stuff. And that show, maybe Happy Ending, actually came from Seoul, Korea. And apparently in Seoul they do a production of Maybe Happy Ending every year. So it's really cool to see that it came over to the U.S. And recently they actually announced that Maybe Happy Ending is doing a U.S. tour starting next year, which I am super excited about to see. And then finally, the full breakdown of nominations by the numbers. The most nominated shows are Buena Vista Social Club. They have 10 nominations. Death Becomes Her with 10. Maybe Happy Ending with 10. Dead Outlaw with 7. John Proctor with 7. Sunset Boulevard with 7. Hills of California with 7. Floyd Collins, Just in Time, Purpose, Picture of Dorian Gray, all have 6. English, Good Night and Good Luck, Gypsy, Oh Mary, and Stranger Things, all have 5. Operation Mincemeat has 4 awards. Boop, the Betty Boop musical has 3 awards, same with Yellowface. And then Eureka Day, Real Women Have Curves, the musical, Smash, both have 2 nominations. And then the shows that have 1 nomination include Our Town, The Roommate, Swept Away, Romeo and Juliet, Pirates, the Penzance musical, Glengarry Glen Ross, and then A Wonderful World all have 1. And so I think it's a really good nomination list, and there's going to be a lot of good awards given out that night. And that wraps up today's award guessing at the Tony Awards. For PC3 Media, I'm Timothy Klimek signing off.